What if your stocks paid you rent every month, like $100 for doing absolutely nothing? If they spike, keep the gains. If not, still win. That's a covered call, the ultimate income for owners. Today, we're doing a live mobile Robinhood demo, plus why quality stocks crush it and no more idle shares. So let's compound. Back to rich mentality. Mindset meets mastery. I'm Kyle Burns, fresh off your CSP vid. Check it out if you missed it. We're going to get into the mindset of why you want to be selling and not buying. You want to be the casino, not the gambler. This 7-minute guide, covered call basics, math, live trade, and wheel tie-in. Covered calls 101. Do you own 100 shares? Well, if you do, sell a call against them. Buyer gets the right to buy at a strike. Get premium up front and theta decays for you rather than against you like it does for buyers. The reason why it's called a covered call is because shares back the obligation. Safe, no naked risk, like a cash secured put where you have to have collateral. For example, say you own 100 shares of Unity software. You can sell one covered call against your 100 shares. Now, I specifically own exactly 100 shares of Unity. And the other thing that is very, very important, and I'll rewind that and show you here, is you only ever want to be selling covered calls, is when the RSI is very high. As you can see here, we're at 83, 84 RSI. That's a really high RSI. So it basically means it's overbought right now. So as you can see here, I went into advanced and went to the 15-minute because you don't really want to do any increment less than 15 minutes. The higher increment you go, the better. 4 hours normally what I do, but for the sake of the video, I did a 15-minute just so we could get some examples showing here. So 15, high RSI, good enough. You go into options. You want to make sure you click on sell, not buy, and it's a call that we're selling. And I'm going to do $45 strike, all right? And I want a limit of at least $1. So I will be given $100 minus the 4-cent contract fee that Robinhood takes. And unless it triggers, I'm not going to take it. I don't, you don't want to FOMO, you don't want to chase. So here we go. Boom. No FOMO, no chase. You want to set limits. You want to make sure you have good entries and good exits. You don't want to do anything emotional. Have a specific plan, a specific number, and stick to it, both for exit and entry. As you can see here, it purchased right away. I think it took like 10 minutes because it had to get back up to $1. And what you want to immediately do is you want to select the sell to open that triggered, and you want to do a buy to close. And whatever your goals and priorities are, establish what your entries and exits are. For this one, for me personally, because it's a high delta and it's a weekly rather than at least a 45 DTE and a low delta, I'm going for just 50%. So as you can see here, I immediately go back into my sold to open covered call. Look, it already went up 4 cents, so technically I'm in the hole $4 right now. But what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna want to buy to close, BTC. So I'm gonna buy it back at 50 cents, not 11, at 50 cents. So that's essentially going to get us 50% profit. So the second that this triggers at 50 cents, I'm going to buy to close that sold covered call back for $50. But because I was given $100 in premium, I make $50. So if worst case scenario, they do get called away at the $45 strike, which is unlikely because at the time of me actually recording this, I believe it already triggered or it was already bouncing around 55 cents, which, if you start getting shaky, you can always roll it, or you could just take less profit, maybe at 40%, 30%, even 20%, even 10%. 10% is really good. So that is a live mobile Robinhood demo for you guys on selling a covered call, and then also your exit strategy right away after it triggers. Obviously, if you don't want to do a buy to close, you can just sit there and wait and let it expire worthless, because if at any point in time by the end of Friday it's looking like it's not going to close over 45, don't sweat it. Don't even do a buy to close and just let it expire worthless. You'll get your full $99.96, $100. So why bother? It beats holding dead money. Income boost. It's 1 to 3% monthly on equity, 12 to 36% annualized. Wheel power. Did you just get assigned from a CSP? Maybe you were a little too aggressive, or the market maybe just didn't go your way. Now you can seamlessly switch to a CC, which is what this video is about, and that's called the wheel, where you're doing both. You're constantly doing a sell to open of both your cash secured puts and then your covered calls if you're assigned. The tax edge. Premiums equal short-term gains, but hold shares long for capital gains. And the most important thing here is only do this on quality stocks. You don't want to be risking your wheel power on stocks that you don't even want to own. You don't want to do that. And I mean, what was that total? Like 45 seconds total? Boom, $100 instantly, and then a guaranteed kind of 50 out, worst case scenario. Because, it's a long time between now and Friday. The market's going to go like this, go like this. It's so important to have conviction in the stocks that you wheel on. You want it to be good quality stocks that you believe in. As you can see here by this image from DVB, this is essentially what's going to happen over time. And you may get a good spot for a buy to close, but if it's overall a bad company, you see that trajectory. Now, if you're wheeling on a good company, a company that you have a lot of conviction in, that you think is definitely going to be somewhere 5-10 years from now, somewhere strong, I always kind of gravitate towards company like Tesla, or maybe one of the other Mag 7s like Google. It's hard to see them not being around in 5 to 10 years, right? This is what you can see from an upward. And then from this image here, you can see how that would work out over time. So maybe you don't perfectly time the tops and the lows for your buy to close and your sell to opens, but at least long-term trajectory, you're safe, whether you're getting assigned the shares, or worst case scenario, they get called away from you in a covered call, and you can just loop back into the wheel, which is why it's so beautifully called the wheel, back into cash secured puts when you're at one of the low points. Now, also in the description below, you'll find a link to my Webull referral, which does paper trading, which I highly recommend if you don't want to risk any money. You get into practicing this with paper money. It's just fake, so that way you can start getting good at this before you ever try to risk your own money. If you want to hop right into it with your money, I also have a Robinhood link down below where you get, I believe, a minimum of $5 for free just by signing up. And if you want to be part of a community of people that talk about the stuff on the daily, that link is below as well. Join the Rich Mentality community.